Welcome to Sermons on the Side. I'm Brad.
And I'm Richard.
And life can move pretty fast, so we're here to slow down, dig deep, and find the story hidden in everyday moments.
With years spent in ministry, friendship, and navigating real life together, we're all about blending humor, honesty, and faith into conversations that meet you right where you are.
So whether you're brand new or you're back for more, we are so glad you are here.
So relax, listen in, and let's discover meaning together.
In the ordinary, the messy, and everything in between.
Sermons on the Side, finding meaning in the everyday.
You were the number one scorer this week. I think I was number 2 or number 3 in our whole league.
You weren't a slouch
But I
at
am
all.
carrying my L with pride.
Well,
And you couldn't have gone easy on me, dog.
no, it's impossible. No, look, when I get a W where you can get it.
I hear you.
So I'm doing pretty well in that particular league. So
man.
thank you for shouting me out, dude.
hey.
So humble, so cool. You just got.
Well, you could bet your bottom dollar that if I had won, that was what we were leading with.
Right.
Welcome to Sermons on the Side.
By the
I
way-
beat Richard.
Well, all right. It is
Sermons on the Side Day.
Welcome to another episode. Brad Williams on the other side of the table. How you doing there, bud?
I'm doing great, man. It took us about 14 tries to do that. I'm just kidding. That was the first try.
One take.
How about that? That was awesome.
We love it. So welcome to yet another Sermons on the Side episode. Brad, we're
30,
pumped.
38, dude.
38. Can't be. It's impossible. How does this happen? How did we get here?
One day at a time, brother.
You know,
One day at a time.
I'm telling you, and it is the awesome listeners who jump in with us every week on these conversations. That's how we got here. And hey, man, October just rolling on.
It sure is, man.
Continuing to roll on.
It sure is. I'm ready for this cold weather to roll in, please, and thank you.
Yeah. See, I was just about to ask you, what's your favorite thing about it? What are the things you love about October?
The changing of the season is probably
Yes.
right up there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, oh my gosh, I've got to start with this. This is called holding back, burying the lead. Dude, speaking of cold weather, speaking of fall weather, speaking of altars that we talked about a couple episodes ago, okay?
No.
Dude,
I think I know where you're
Lisa and I have started, and we're probably about a third of the way through our altar project in our backyard, where we're taking this little area in our backyard and turning it into a fire pit.
That's you. I remember now.
So,
yes.
bro,
Talk to me.
soon and very soon, you and Rhonda are going to get the invite over to grill out marshmallows with us and the kids. Sit in those. How do you say that word? Adirondack.
Adirondack.
Adirondack?
Chairs. Yes. Adirondack. That's a
Shout
mountain
out.
range in New York State.
I work at Home Depot and sell those. Don't know how to say them. Sit in one of those chairs, grill out some marshmallows, and hang out, dude. So
I can't wait.
that, my friend, is what I'm looking forward to in the month of October.
I love it. Well,
What about you? What,
you know
give
what?
me your Mount Rushmore of October things.
Stuff. Leaves changing color.
Number one.
All right. And we live in an area where it's just kind of a little bit. You know, we don't get a ton of it.
Yeah, it's like
But
one
boy,
good weekend.
all right. But, you know, even the number of trees that turn are less here because
That's
we're
true.
in the piney pine tree section of Georgia. But I got to tell you, man, when even just a few leaves falling, it just does something to me,
That's
man.
awesome.
It's like fall. Fall is just my favorite time of the year. So leaves
Number
turning.
one.
Sweater weather when it gets here, or sweatshirt weather.
Sweater weather when it's here. That's a tongue twister right there. I can respect it. A hoodie? Is that what? Or are you talking about a sweater?
I love a hoodie, but even if you're dressing up for church or something, I like being able to layer.
Little
I'm a
Argyle.
layer guy.
You seem like an Argyle sweater guy.
Now, yeah, well, I guess so. I'm that sweater vest guy. You know, I get mocked for that.
All right, that's number 2.
Okay, so that's 2 things. Third thing, look, October baseball. Playoff baseball.
I already had a
is
couple
such
really great
thing.
moments too.
Oh Oh man, yes, exactly.
Vladdy Jr.'s homer.
Oh,
there's nothing better than a home team erupting
and listening to the crowd. And it's just something about, I don't even have, our team is not in it, right?
No.
And so we're not in the playoffs, but there's just something about.
As a neutral, it's almost just as enjoyable.
It's magical, man.
Yeah.
It's just magical. So those are probably my top three. That's about all.
All right.
You know, but I guess 3A would be.
No, your Mount Rushmore is 4.
Yeah. I don't have a Mount
Going
Rushmore.
for 3A.
I don't have. I was going to say bad things about the New York Yankees, but you know what? We have listeners. We have listeners in New York State.
So
I'm just going to hold that. You know what
We're
I'm
going
saying?
to hold that.
Why we want to insult our listeners?
We don't. We don't want to do that.
We love them.
We want to insult New York Yankees, just not our New York listeners.
I just, and the only reason I have this animosity is bitterness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They have way more titles than me.
Absolutely, yeah. and they've hurt me.
Yeah. Speaking of sports and speaking of hurt me, you and I faced off this past weekend in fantasy football. And
Yes,
Coach,
we did.
I'm waving the white flag. We get it.
Okay.
You were the number 1 scorer this week. I think I was number 2 or number 3 in our whole league.
You weren't a slouch
But I
at
am
all.
carrying my L with pride.
Well,
And you couldn't have gone easy on me, dog.
no, it's impossible. No, look, when I get a W where you can get it.
I hear you.
So I'm doing pretty well in that particular league. So
man.
thank you for shouting me out, dude.
Hey.
So humble, so cool. You just got.
Well, you could bet your bottom dollar that if I had won, that was what we were leading
yeah,
with.
Right.
Welcome to Sermons on the Side.
By the
I
way-
beat Richard.
Oh my!
All right, dude. All right. So before we dive into the Sermon on the Side, I just got to say,
Yeah,
tonight,
talk to me.
man, thank you for dinner. Like that, that was a really sweet time that we just had at Culver's. Shout out to the double butter burger, by the way.
Come on.
If you recall, my number 1 favorite burger.
That's right.
Yeah.
You've gone on record.
When we were texting about that, I was like, I mean, are you in a Culver's mood? You didn't really pick up on that. But dude, just always great to sit and talk about life and everything that's kind of going on. I know there's some kind of crazy stuff going on in life, kind of surrounding not the podcast, but in our
orbit,
in our
right?
world,
Yeah,
in our orbit.
right.
There you go, in our atmosphere. And I'm just so grateful to sit across this table, to sit across the dinner table, and to, I don't know, man, walk this road with you. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that. It was awesome.
Yeah, and we've planned out at least the next 5, I think.
Yeah, man.
5 episodes.
We
and
got on a roll with that calendar.
I
didn't we?
won, and then 2, I felt like LeBron James. Like, and not 3, not 4, not 5. So we are super excited about the next couple of weeks. Really excited about episode 40, our special guest.
Yes, indeed.
So make sure that you tune in for that. But man, hey, let's dive in. You Coach, that's a lot of notes.
Yeah, man. Look, I didn't. I ran out of. I ran out of ink and a pen.
And
on
at
this
dinner,
notes.
you were specifically like, "I'm not telling you about tonight." So
yeah, I
hey,
wanted it to just be fresh.
listeners,
right?
I'm right there with you. Let's buckle up for this sermon on the side.
All right, so the sermon on the side for this episode comes from a book that I read, and I actually referenced this book back in episode 32.
Okay.
Do you remember the episode where we talked about what we remember and what we forget?
Yes. Yep.
I mentioned this author, Candace Millard, and she writes books about historical figures.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
sort of obscure parts of their story.
Okay.
So in this one book that she wrote called Hero of the Empire, it's about Winston Churchill.
You're showing me the
I am
front
showing
of the
you
book.
the book.
There's
nothing on the front.
Okay, the side.
Hero-
It's a blank cover. You're like, it's Hero of,
See?
you're pointing, and I'm
Hero
like,
of the Empire.
that's
You're like,
a maroon.
what does that even mean?
That's amazing.
Right? But I am holding this book in my hand. And this book is about Winston Churchill when he was in his 20s.
Wow. Okay.
And he was a part of a war that the British Empire was fighting in South Africa. It's called the Boer War, Boer War in South Africa. And so he was just this young fledgling politician. He had tried to run for parliament and failed. But he just said, "Man, I'm going to go. I want to experience glory on the battlefield and all this stuff." So anyway, he goes down there, and it's towards the end of the year in 1899. which is kind of right at the turn of the century, which is weird to say. Yeah. But he was there well into the year 1900, down there in this conflict. And so he goes down there, and in November of 1899, when he's 24 years old, he gets captured along with a ton of other British soldiers. The bad guys, the Boers, raided some sort of. He was on a train, a troop transport armored train, and they got overtaken and taken prisoner. And so he is just he escapes from the prison camp.
Whoa.
It's trippy. I mean, he turned 25 in this prison camp, and then he says, I'm leaving. And so he, in the dark, under cover of darkness, he manages to escape.
Wow.
So which launches a 2 or 3 day period of time where he is just traversing the South African countryside, trying to put enough distance between him and the prisoner of war camp that he was at, because he knew they would be looking for him, and they certainly were. I mean, he did things like he hopped a train that was moving, and then he realized it was going in the wrong direction, so he jumps off the train that was moving. It's just trippy stuff, right? And so he's trying to figure out, I need to get back to, my regiment or somebody in the British Army. And so he's just trying to navigate through there. And so he's sleeping during the day, trying to find shade because it's brutally hot. And then by night, he's just walking and traveling mile after mile after mile. And so one night, it's around 3 a.m, and wherever he's traveling through, he sees fires off in the distance. And he assumes that it means it's that some native South Africans, they had these camp that were kind of like a corral. We would call it a corral in the American West, where livestock or supplies or even munitions perhaps were kept. But they called it a kraal, Kraal. Anyway, so he thinks he's walking up on, or just in the distance, he sees what he thinks is a native African kraal. Now, these guys, if he's right about what that is, what those fires represent, these guys are on their side. They're part of the British good guys.
Okay, good guys.
Yeah.
Got it.
They're not like, it's just kind of like they both hate the enemy.
Okay.
They're not like really close.
Sure.
They're kind of whatever, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
Yeah.
So he's looking, and he realizes this is an opportunity. I'm 3 days into this escape. I'm out of food. I am exhausted. I'm hungry.
Oh.
He's not wounded or anything, thankfully. He's physically okay, but he's just freaking out. How long can I keep this up, right? So he thinks, maybe this is an opportunity for me to go and say, I'm a British soldier. Can you help me? And yet it's hard for him to go for it. He's kind of having trouble deciding, should I go, should I not? And the author explains why. And I just want to read you this short paragraph.
Okay.
That is kind of what our Sermon on the Side is all about today. All right? So it said, as desperately as Churchill wanted to walk into the kraal and ask for help, he hesitated because concealing himself had become an instinct essential to his survival, and he found it almost impossible to turn that off. To come out into the open, to come out of hiding, and to reveal himself to anyone, even people who hated the enemy as much as he did, seemed rash and even reckless. Now, I'm telling you, this is what, bro, I'm telling you, when I read this, it was about 9 years ago when I first read this book, it was one of those book drop moments.
Oh, yeah.
Because this thing struck me, that statement struck me so hard. Let me just mention a couple of excerpts again. I don't want to bore you with reading it, repeating it. But concealing himself had become an instinct.
Yeah.
Hard to turn that off.
Yeah.
And to come out into the open, to come out of hiding and reveal himself to anyone, even somebody that might be friendly, seemed rash and reckless.
Oh, wow.
the reason that hits me so hard is that describes my way of life at one time.
Yeah.
That's how I lived. Now, no, I never escaped from a prisoner of war camp, and I wasn't fleeing for my life, but I lived with that mentality, concealing myself, my real self. It just became natural for me. And the idea of coming out of hiding and revealing myself to someone, that is literally the quote from the book, revealing myself seemed rash and reckless. I was so good at hiding. What would I hide? Whatever I felt weird about in my life, I would hide that from people. Whether it was something that I had been through that was difficult for me, and I'd rather forget about it than ever, as opposed to talking to someone about it.
Yeah.
It might be something very simple and maybe kind of small on the importance scale. It might have just been something about myself that I wasn't crazy about. You know, some quirk or some personality thing, something I was insecure about, a fear that might not even been that big a deal. Or it could range to all the way to the deep, dark secrets that I was truly, deeply ashamed of. Whatever on that spectrum, that's what I would hide. That's what I hid from people. So, people didn't, they knew me because, I'm a bubbly person. I like being around folks. I'm a life of the party type of guy. But who really knew me when I was hiding so much? If you look at the landscape of my life, if my life were a landscape, I had made decisions all along the way, down through the years. This is something on the landscape of my life that I don't want anybody to. If my life was a map, I don't want anybody visiting this part of my life.
Yeah, right.
Other parts of my map, I was cool with because maybe I felt good or confident or, no fear or insecurity there. But then because I was so determined to hide the deepest, darkest mistakes and sins and habits that I had in my life, I became more willing to hide other things that might not have been as big a deal. Just little things. I was it was basically a carefully curated image that I felt was necessary for me to be who I wanted to be for myself and for others. But the landscape or the map of my life started getting overtaken by more and more sections of the map that I wasn't willing to let anybody go to. And over the decades, by the time I hit my mid-40s, man, I'm a mask-wearing hider.
Man,
do you feel me?
I do, and you finally landed with that word mask. It reminds me so much of our conversation with our friend Michael just a couple of weeks ago. But
that's right.
I so can identify with this idea or the reality of living behind a mask, and we've gotten so many people that have reached out to us in the last few weeks that can identify as well. And man, this author, if you read that excerpt and you were like, all right, she uses historical narratives to really preach the gospel, I'd have been like, yeah, she does, because like that's awesome.
That may be
I absolutely
unintended, right?
agree that is a book drop moment.
Oh, it just is.
When I think about the reality of a young Winston Churchill, just alone, and every snap of the twig, every rustling of the bushes, just freezing, and just having to really think about where is he, and where's my escape route, and where is and how that is also how I lived. That was a season of my life. Every single thing that kind of came out of nowhere, even if it was just a little twig or a little rustling of to have that immediate thought of where's my escape route? What lie am I going to try to insert to make myself look good? What mask am I going to wear right now?
That's it.
And that is not what God calls us. That's not how God calls us to live. He asks and he invites us to fully see ourselves
Yes.
in his glory, to see ourselves how he sees us.
Oh, come on.
And to lay down those masks and to be fully embraced by a father that fully loves. And oh,
Gosh, that's
dude.
so good. And really, the point of our Sermon on the Side is for everybody that's listening, because as we just stated, Brad and I are living this journey of kind of forsaking that old way of life.
That's right.
And we're on this path together. But we would like to invite everybody to just stop hiding.
Yeah.
And as you said, lay down the mask.
You know, it reminds me, you shared
to
a
me.
story a couple of months ago. I think it was in our Tuesday night men's group,
Mm-hmm.
but you were interacting with a company up in Atlanta for your job, and
Yep.
you were going and speaking to this large group of people. And one of the directors there, you were kind of conversing with before you were kind of bringing this message or whatever it was. And the guy that you hadn't seen in a while said, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
he said, "What's up, Richard? Where you been hiding?"
Yes.
And it was just one of those like in real life when you're just reading a book, when you're just kind of going along, and then all of a sudden God hits you with this sermon on the side moment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember you talking to us about that of like, that pings us differently as men that are suppressing that in our, right? And this reminds me so much of that as,
oh, that's good.
and so I don't know if that's a question to our listeners right now, to all of us.
I think it is.
You know, that's that's the very first question that God asks once sin has entered the equation.
Woo!
Hey,
That's it.
Adam. Hey, Eve, where are you hiding?
Where are you hiding?
Where are you? Mm-hmm. And he's not asking because he doesn't know. God knows.
Yes.
God knows
Yes.
every ounce of our map that we think we have control over, that we think we control the mask narrative. God already knows.
Goodness gracious. That's it.
Where are we hiding?
That is it.
Oh, dude, that's
And,
good stuff,
man,
bro.
so I when we say that we want to invite everybody to consider this question, to consider, to maybe ask themselves, where have I been hiding? That's what made that story so funny.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing you say just to be cute when you're
Yeah.
greeting someone that you haven't seen in a while.
Sure, right.
Right?
He didn't mean it in some deep,
But- But God, like you said, he preached the Sermon on the Side. So we could just turn that question on ourselves, maybe in prayer, like the Lord, to ask the Lord, where have I been hiding? What are there any areas of my life that I am hiding behind something
Yeah.
or trying to keep hidden?
That's right.
And I know it's kind of a heavy thought, but I want to challenge all our listeners. Join us on this kind of explore, this kind of journey, and say, Lord, is there something that maybe I'm hiding? Listen, you're scrolling. Do you have a Bible verse or something? Okay,
yeah,
I'll let you dig.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was
No, you're good.
Well, peek behind the curtain here. But I would say that I think, this hits a person like myself and Brad. I think you can relate that, we are in an addiction recovery journey, right?
Yeah,
and that's part of my story. And so I can go specifically to some of those addiction related things that I always wanted to hide. But I can't tell you how freeing it is when we stop putting all that time and energy and sweat into keeping the mask on and staying in hiding. It's difficult, sure, to come clean, to use the words about Churchill, to come out into the open, to come out of hiding and reveal myself. That isn't easy, but there is some freedom to it. Because in that story, he eventually, he battles himself in his mind for a little while, but he eventually walks towards the fires. It turns out it wasn't a native African kraal. It turns out it was a coal mining outpost.
No kidding.
But he walks into it, goes to a door, knocks on the door. Turns out there's a native Englishman, an Englishman that's living there running this coal mine. And he is sympathetic to the British Army. And he ends up being critical in Winston Churchill eventually making his complete escape. But Churchill said after he realized that guy was going to help him, he said it felt like, and this is a quote from the book, I felt like a drowning man being pulled from the water. That's he said how it felt. But an hour before, he was wrestling in his mind about whether he should even go to that place.
Yeah.
Because he just was so comfortable keeping himself concealed. And so that's the promise. That's the beauty of what God wants to do in our lives. He knows that just on the other side of this, what we feel is a risky step, is freedom. It is health and healing. And we'll feel like Churchill did, like a drowning person being pulled out of the water. And so that's the invitation.
The verse that I was thinking, Isaiah 42 has just meant a lot to me in the last 5.5 years and in this journey. And I think I've shared it before, but when I think about a brother or sister in Christ with this mask on, we're blind. We can't see. We have a mask on. We think we can see. Yeah. And there's so much darkness. And if you're in the middle of that situation, or maybe if you're not, think about Winston Churchill and the darkness that was just the physical darkness and the emotional and the spiritual. And so Isaiah 42:16 says this. This is God speaking over his people. And I will lead the blind in a way that they do not know. In paths that they have not known, I will guide them. I will turn the darkness before them into light, the rough places into level ground. These are the things I will do, and I will not forsake them. That's the invitation.
That is. You're right.
That is the invitation. Not gird up thy loins and put your bootstraps on and fight your way out of this hole that you've dug. Lay down your mask and allow the Lord to lead us. Yes, in a way that's unfamiliar, but it is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, man, that's so well put. And that verse could not be more perfect. I will say this, just from my own experience. I don't know if you can relate to this phrase, but there's something I'm learning. And it's becoming, little by little, still working on it, but it's becoming a default for me. And that is when life happens, good, bad, or ugly.
Okay.
Right? Not just the hard, difficult stuff, but even the good stuff. Or anywhere on the spectrum. When life happens, I want to process that life, those life moments. I want to process it in community.
Yes.
With other people.
That's right. Huge.
I want to move towards those people instead of any of it being about just me and just God. Well, yeah, me and God for sure. That's first and foremost. And then people in my house, my family. But I want a circle that includes folks that don't have the same last name as me and that are in the journey and in process with me. And that circle doesn't have to be huge. Doesn't have to be 40 people in that circle. I mean, I guess it could be, but let's learn to process life in community. Yeah, and that will keep that will get farther and farther away from that natural tendency to conceal myself, and more health and more healing will come from that. And God will lead me in an unfamiliar but beautiful path.
Amen.
Boom.
God,
Thank
so
you,
good,
Lord,
man.
for that.
Yes.
God is good, man.
Wow. All right, dude.
I'm wowing.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Let's just dive right into a segment.
Because it's segment time.
Yeah, it is segment time.
All right, so this segment, it's really, I'm just going to ask a series of questions. I need your input. I'll offer mine.
Okay.
All right, these are real life scenarios in the kitchen / pantry. Okay. I'm just curious. In fact, I just need to know. I must know, Brad, when you make sandwich or toast with a loaf of bread and you're done, it's time to put the bread up. do you get the bread twist tie and just do this, or do you take the plastic and you spin the bread and then you just swing that plastic under it and set it down?
Do you think that I've got the time in my day to twist tie that thing back on? No.
Who's got that
Are you
kind of
kidding
time?
me?
I mean, and I'm
then it's
telling
back
you,
in. Yeah.
if you're aggressive enough with the spin, it's kind of fun.
It is fun.
You know what I mean?
And I'll be honest with you, I've never had a stale piece of bread doing that. There's nothing wrong with it.
Agreed.
I always thought that the little zip tie was something that it was part of the packaging. It's just part of the initial like shipping it to your house.
Yeah, but just get it out of there.
Yeah, you know how like the little boxes have that little tab that you rip across, and then you use the box itself to,
That's it. That is it.
I'm just using the bag, baby.
Dude, that is the way to go. That is the way to go. Okay. So, of course, we need to hear from our listeners on this.
Yeah.
I want to know how many twist tie people we have and how many spinners we got.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen.
So
we just really want to know who the twist tie people is so we can make fun of you.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean,
And I appreciate, you know what? We're being real, right? Yeah. We're not hiding.
No
masks
here, baby. We will make fun of you to your face. Yeah.
That's it. Oh, that's so good. All right. So then this is the second question. It's about cereal bags, the bags within the boxes. Now, some people will get the big, the container of the cereal is actually a bag. I don't know if do you guys buy
the container?
Like it's like a bulk bag of cereal.
Oh.
With the
we don't have that many kids. But
okay.
We're running
You're not feeding 12 people.
Daycare over here. We got a lot of kids. We don't have that many kids. We just buy the family size box of cereal.
Right, there you go. But you know what? The inside, the bags, inside the boxes, always give me, my whole life, they give me trouble.
I will say this. When you open up a fresh box, that initial opening...
Oh, it's critical.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in surgery. I need quiet in the kitchen, and I just need to open up that first little third because that's a flimsy bag, and if you tear, for every time you pour some cereal, you're getting like 4 or 5 trapped in the box.
The stress of that.
That means the next time that you pour, you're gonna have stale cereal somewhere in the
dude. And then you know what happens? Everything breaks down. Society.
I have a worse day, worse quiet time. I'm late to church. Golly. If we have a good worship set on Sunday, there's a correlation between a cereal that was had that morning and that it was a great experience.
That is it. Okay, last one. We're talking about like ketchup and mustard and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just to tell you the truth about how I work, I don't think I've ever fully emptied a bottle of ketchup or mustard. I mean, it gets down to that last little bit.
Yeah.
Get it out of here.
Oh,
I'm done.
Yeah.
We don't want yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying? I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't need little bits of ketchup in the bottom of it. It's just nasty. Give me a new bottle of ketchup.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it just
you know
me?
what I'm thinking about right now?
Is it just me?
I don't know if we've ever bought like a new thing of ketchup. I just feel like we've had this perpetual thing of ketchup.
That's it.
I mean, we don't. What do you need ketchup for? A hot dog you have once a quarter
How often
or so.
Is that going on at the house?
No, I mean very rarely.
That's coming though, man.
Oh yeah.
The more nuggets that get slid into the oven, or fish sticks or whatever.
Oh, dude, Chick-fil-A.
More of that's coming.
It's not ketchup. We're raising some bougie kids. They want Chick-fil-A sauce. They want Zaxby sauce, ranch.
Oh,
they don't want all them poor kid stuff that we had growing up.
I got to tell you, that's solid parenting, Mr. Williams.
Hey man, I'm trying to.
I am telling you. Should we even go to when it comes to ketchup, mustard, mayo, or whatever? Should we even start talking about expiration dates? Because, dude,
those don't apply.
Stuff. No, right?
They don't apply to
ketchup. Never goes bad, does it?
You threw away the bottom half of your ketchup, and you're going to talk to me about expiration dates? Get out of here! If you get to the same calendar year, you're like, let's go ahead and just get out. Yeah, this expires February of 27, and it's like December of 26, and you're like, we're close enough. Go ahead and give me some. catch up on the old Christmas list.
Hey, listen, just got to thank you, as always, for just giving us a window into the world of the kitchen at the of Casa de Brad and Lisa.
I appreciate it, brother.
And thank you for laughing along with some of my weirdness.
And thank you for an incredible sermon on the side.
Oh,
really, really awesome. Excited to unpack this week and to continue to accept the Lord's invitation into laying down those masks.
Lay them down. Come out of hiding.
Yeah.
Lay down the masks, and let's do it together.
Wow. Awesome stuff.
Right? Thank you, sir.
Hey, episode 39 next week. Come back next Thursday for your favorite Thursday podcast, Sermons on the Side. All right.
Man, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hey, that was our first time recording the segment with video.
Like,
Yeah, our hands are going over it multiple times. I have no clue if we've got usable content.
Anything usable. But this is how we start, right?
We crawl before we walk. We walk before we run. We run before we sprint. And then we pass out.
And then we sprint before we become Jason Dennis.
That's right. Yes. Shout out.
Oh, my word. So, yeah, that is cool.